طيب. So today we'll start our course MT132. We'll start with chapter 1. But before we start, here you will know where you find an application of MT132 course, which is linear algebra. طيب مثلا الفوتو digital photos, if you're taking it, then you're using linear algebra, or for this it is an application of linear algebra, or transform the image in Photoshop and etc. Okay, and web search. So many it is applied in many يعني fields. Okay, and here actually they are crucial or in these areas, the linear algebra. Okay, if you're doing graphics, image processing, cryptography, machine learning, computer vision, so all these fields, it is crucial. So you have to know how to have a base of linear algebra to manage to do these fields. Okay, actually linear algebra, when we're doing linear algebra, we're working with matrices and vectors. So what is matrices? It is, and this is an example of matrix. What is it? We have data. I'm going to arrange a data in rows. Okay, this is, we call it rows, and columns like that. Okay, in the data, you will arrange it somehow. Okay, we're coming for that next type. So this, we call it a matrix. So what is the matrix? It is a rectangular array. Okay, any number of rows and any number of columns. It's not needed to be always to be اسمه شنو equal. A number of rows with number of columns could be different. So this is why we say that rectangular. Okay, so it is a rectangular array of data like this. Type. If your matrix is a one column or a one row, in this case we call it a vector. Okay, so the vector is a special case of a matrix such that we will have only one column or one row. Moreover, depending on the number of rows or the number of columns, we will have the size of the matrix or the dimension of the matrix. Okay, what's the dimension of this matrix? Just you come and count how many rows you have. You start always with the number of rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 rows. يبقى حيكون 4. What is the dimension and what is the number of columns? Then you count them, you will find that they are 6. So we write it like that. So this 4 times 6, this we call it the dimension of the matrix, okay, or the size of the matrix, okay. So here, this is, we call it what? This is the rows, okay. So these are the rows, okay. While this is, we call it what? The columns, okay. So this is the number of columns. Okay, so we have, this is the rows, okay, and this is are the columns. So just we write it like that, don't multiply it at the end, okay. So that means I have a matrix of a dimension 4 rows and 6 columns, so 4 times 6. Okay, regarding the vectors, just you come and count how many data you have. So how many elements you have. We have 5, so we say that it is a 5 vector. So I know that I have 5 components inside. Type. What about this one? They are 8, so we say that it's an 8 vector. Clear? يبقى في الحالة بتاعت الvectors, just I have to count the number of data there for the size. Okay. These are the different chapters we're going to do in this course. Okay, system of linear equations, matrices and matrix operation, vectors, linear combination and linear independence, and etc. till the last one, who are eigenvalues. So we have 6 different chapters. Okay, then with directly we'll start with our first chapter. Okay, which is systems of linear equations. So actually in our secondary schools, we knew what are linear equations, what is the system of linear equations and how we solve that. But again, we're going to do it here. And previously in the secondary school, we solve it using a certain method or certain methods, and here by substitution and by elimination. And here in this course, we will solve it but using the matrices. First, let me remind you with the what do we mean by linear equation. Type any equation in this form, we call it what? We call it linear equation. اللي هي A1 x1 plus A2 x2 plus A3 x3 plus A4 x and etc. equal to a B. Where what is A1, A2, A3, A4? They are the constants. Okay, just real numbers. And also B is a real number. While x1, x2, x3, x4 up to xn, they are what? They are the variables. Okay, so here we have how many variables? We have n variables. Okay, it could be 2, it could be 3 variables, 4 variables, 6 variables, no matter, any number. Yeah, I'm coming for that. It should be 1 degree. طيب اللي هو each term الديجري حقته should be 1. طيب for instance let me give you an example. For instance مثلا 2x plus 3y plus 8z مثلا is equal to 16 for instance. So this is an example for a linear equation. Is it linear? Yeah, it is linear. طيب to be a linear equation, the degree of each variable should be 1, al power 1, okay? Otherwise, it's not linear. This is first thing. Yani, for instance, we knew that this is linear, yeah? Linear equation. But what about this one? مثلا لو عملتها 2x square plus 3y plus 8z. The same equation, but it was like that. Is it linear? No, it's not linear equation. Why it is not linear equation? Because a degree is 2 here. One of the terms الديجري بتاعته 2. It should be كلهم يكون first degree. Our equation حقتنا تكون first degree. Clear? So it is not a linear equation anymore. طيب. Now, okay, what about this one? 2xy plus 3y plus 8z is equal to 16. Is it linear? No. Why? Because this term الديجري حقته 2 لأنه this is x and this is y, so you cannot have two variables multiplied times each other as well. يبقى لازم الديجري حقت الإيكويشن تكون بتساوي 1. That is each term يكون شنو؟ just in one variable والpower 1 like that. Clear? يبقى this is not linear and this one is not linear as well. So is it clear what do we mean by a linear equation? And it could be in any number of variables. Okay, so this same equation we also can write it like that. Yani we can write it مثلا 2x1 plus 3x2 plus 8x3 is equal to 16. What is that? Yeah, this is a variable, but this is another variable. The name is different. So I can call it X, Y, Z, U, V, W, any letter, or a variable can take the name X1, X2, X3. Clear? طيب. And any numbers يعني حتى ممكن يكونوا just 2 ممكن يكون more than 2 يعني مثلا 2x plus 3y plus 8z كمان moreover ممكن يكون plus مثلا 9 u plus 5 v, no matter, any number of variables. Okay, clear? What do we mean by linear equation? Okay, and diamond linear equation, when you draw them, they are representing, you can, يعني a real line in any space of dimension 2, 3, 4, whatever. Okay, or type. Type. Now, if we have system, okay, that contains more than one linear equation, What are powers? There are no powers. Where is the power? Power 1. This is not the power here plus, but I couldn't write in the same line because no space. But it is يعني 2x plus 3y plus 8z plus 9u plus 5u. You got it? Clear? طيب. If we have more than one equation يعني مثلا عندنا 2x plus 3y is equal to 9 or another equation مثلا x minus 5y is equal to 15 etc. So if we have more than one equation in my system and these equations are linear, then we say that we have a system of linear equations. We say, what do we have? We have a system of linear equations, okay? So this is a system of linear equations. All the equations there are linear, but they are, they are linear, okay? But they are more than one, so it is a system of linear equations. So our aim in the first chapter is to find a solution for these equations. What do we mean by a solution? Okay, a solution, actually, we need the value of the variable that will satisfy both equations. يعني عايزة values بدل للx والy, okay, that عايزين شنو values. هنجيب values. We want to solve. That means we want to find values that will satisfy each equation. To satisfy this first one, what is the meaning of satisfying it? That means when you take these values, اللي هم الvalues اللي هنا هو هنا value وهنا value قيمة real number. When you substitute them here, you should get 9. And these same values, when you substitute them, you should get 15. So if you got this value, that means you got a solution for your system. You got a solution for your system. For instance, if we have, this is a line, when we draw our first linear equation, we got this line. And then when we draw our second equation, we got that line. And then geometrically, if we want the solution, what is the solution? It should satisfy this equation اللي هي بتاعت اللاين الأول and as well to satisfy this one. Okay. Then what do you think? Which point will satisfy both? يا نقطة اللي بتحقق الاثنين. That means it is the point that lies on both. النقطة الواقعة فيهم الاثنين, which is this point. That is the solution. This is geometrically. So our aim is to find this kind of points, okay? And to know there is a solution actually, or there is no solution. For instance, if the lines were parallel, متوازيين like that, then definitely there will be no solution, correct? ما في نقطة بتاع التقاطع. There is no point of intersection. That means there is no solution. So we're not going to do this geometrically. Actually, we want to solve it, okay? Find the values, not geometrically, okay? And for this, we said that we're going to use linear algebra in this chapter, or we'll use matrices. Okay, so it's clear what do we mean by a solution of a linear system of linear equations. We want the values that satisfy each equation. Okay, clear? Type. Before, in our secondary schools, we knew how to solve the systems. We had two different methods. The first method we had it is by substitution, correct? We had by substitution, بالتعويض. This is we did in our secondary school, and here I'm reminding you how we did that. Type, for instance, here, look at this system. It is system of linear equation. Yes, why? Because each equation, it's linear if we look after it, correct? And more than one equation, so I have a system. When he says solve, that means what we need. We need the value of the x and also the value of the y. What values when I substitute it here, and as well when I substitute them here, first in the first one I should get 11. And in the second one also I should get the right hand side, which is 3. So what are these values? This is what I'm looking for. Let me show you something. If I have a system, a linear equation, one linear equation in one unknown, so immediately we can find the solution, and so easily like that. يعني مثلا لو كان عندنا 3x plus مثلا let's say 5, okay, is equal to 2x plus مثلا 9. Okay, now can I solve easily? Yeah, easily I can solve it. What we want the value that makes this side is equal to that side, correct? If we have one equation. طيب يبقى I can solve, okay, 3x plus 5 equal to, what we do then احنا قلنا always على فكرة لما يكون we have equality, that means as if we have a balance. زي عندك ميزان. So this hand is equal to this hand. So what I do in the left hand side, I should do it in the right hand side to make my equation or to have equivalent equation or to make it still balanced. Okay. Type for instance, if I want to solve this, what we do, I want the x alone in one hand. أيوة.
change
طيب
x يعني بيكون.
أيوة. So what we do, actually it is 3x plus 5, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both hands to make the x alone. 2x plus 9 also minus 5. Okay, so that will give us, هنا ال5 هتمشي هتبقى عندنا 3x is equal to 2x 9 minus 5, which is 4 صح? Plus 4. Right. And also I can, عشان to put the x in one hand here, so I'll subtract from here 2x and from here 2x. احنا قلنا لما عندنا equation what we do it في left hand side, we should do it also in the right hand side. So here I'll do what, minus 2x في both hand. يبقى هنا minus 2x and here also minus 2x. يبقى هيكون عندنا شنو؟ 3x minus 2x, 3 minus 2, 1 صح? So it is x. X is equal to, this will cancel with this, so it's equal to 4. So the solution is x equal to 4. To make sure that you got the correct solution, come and substitute back. 3 times 4 is 12, correct? 12 plus 5 is 17, correct? Type now, substitute it here. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 9, again, it is 17. So yes, correct. I'm quite sure now I got the correct solution. So the solution for this equation up, it is x is equal to 4. So if we have one linear equation, it's easily I can solve it and find the unknown, and always you will find. Clear? Like that. Type. What do we mean by equation? Okay, let me remind you. It is just like a balance. Type, if we have a balance, okay, mizan, okay, and it has two hands, correct? So we have this hand, and as well we have that hand, and they are balanced. For instance, if I have here some apples and here some مثلا orange, okay, here we have some apples and here we have some orange, but of the same weight. Let's say here in this hand we have 3 kilos, and in this hand, عشان to be balanced, they should be 3 kilos, correct? So if I added 1 kilo here to make the balance, I should also do the same. Since I added here 1, now it is not balanced. But if I did the same what I do here, so again it should be balanced, correct? يبقى always what you do in the left hand side, you should do it in the right hand side. Okay, now خلاص, this is 4 and this is 4, it's balanced. Even if I subtract -1 and here -1, so it's going to be 2, 2. So always what you do in the left hand side, you should do it in the right hand side. What if you double the quantity? We get 2. I doubled, so 2 times 4 is 8, correct? So you have to double to keep it balanced. You have to double this as well to be 8. Okay, type. Now what if I have another, مثلا في other balance كان عندي another apples and orange here and there. Okay, so and with equality. مثلا here can of 2 kilos, let's say 4 kilos, okay, and here also 4 kilos. So always I can add the two equations, correct? This one and this one. And again, I'm getting balance. 8 plus 4, again it's 12, and 8 plus 4, again it's 12, correct? So, okay, so now we knew what if we have an equation like that, equality, it as if we have a balance. To keep this equation balanced, what you do for the left hand side, you should do it in the right hand side. Don't forget. This is, we had it in even our primary schools, correct? So I should, what I do in the left, I should do. إحنا before we had it, كنا بنقول شنو? When we take from one hand to other hand, just change the sign. Actually, why I'm changing the sign? We get -5. Because actually, I'm subtracting from both sides. واضح? And then after that, we had been saying, صح, when we're solving, when we're taking 5 here, it's going to be -5. When we take to the other hand, so minus. So take the 2x to this hand, so it's going to be 3x minus 2x, correct? Okay. Now let's go back to our problem here. Type, but let me again say it. If we have one equation in one unknown, it's easy to solve the system. Okay. Type. Now, if we simplify or reduce this system to a simpler system, if we manage, then the solution in that case is going to be easier. How we do that? Okay, I want to solve two equations. Okay, what we do? From any one of the equations, take one of the variables and give it as شنو in terms of the other. أخذ واحد من المتغيرات واديني له بدلالة المتغير الثاني. So it's clear the second equation, it's more easy to use, صح? This equation, it's more easy to work with. طيب, from this equation, we can say that y is equal to what? Is equal to 3 plus x, correct? So I got from the second equation, okay, using the second equation, y in terms of x. Now what I do, okay, this is, we got it from the second equation. What we do? Then substitute the value of y where? In equation 1. We substitute it where? In equation 1. Type. Where is the y? This is the y. So I will remove it, and instead of it, I'm going to put these values. طيب اللي هو هيكون عندنا شنو؟ هيكون عندنا 3x plus 2 multiplied of y. Don't forget, whenever you want to substitute, عشان not to confuse, put a bracket, okay? And then put inside what you want to put in instead of the y. I need 3 plus x, and then close your bracket like that. And then this is equal to 11. Okay, now that this is 2 multiplied times all that, not only times the 3. Yes, so it's going to be 3x plus 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2x is equal to 11. يبقى now what? I got one equation in one unknown, which is easily to be solved. طيب يبقى هيكون عندنا شنو؟ 3x plus 2x, this is what? This is 5x, correct? So 5x is equal to what? Take the 6 there, and 11 minus 6, which is 5. So يبقى x بتساوي 1. يبقى I got the value of the x. طيب, but what I need, I don't need only the x, I need the x and I need the y. How I get the y? From where I get the y? Take the x and substitute it back in any one of the equations. You can substitute here or you substitute here. But this one is more easy to substitute in because directly you will get the value of the y. So when we substitute back, y is equal to 3 plus 1. So it is equal to 4. So that is, I got now the value of the y as well. So what is the value of y? it is 4, and for the x is 1. طيب, to make sure that you get the correct solution, what you will do, just come back and substitute here. Okay, احنا عندنا x كم 1, so 3 times 1 plus 2 times y كم 4 plus 2 times 4. Isn't it 11? Yeah, 2 times 4, 8. 8 plus 3, 11. So it is 11. It is correct. طيب, now what about the other one? X by 1. So 1 في minus 1 by minus 1 plus, what is the y? Y 4. So 4 minus 1, it is 3 as well. So that means correct. My solution is the point 1 and 4. Okay, so either you write that x بتساوي 1, y بتساوي 4, or you can even put it the point 1, 4 is the solution for your system of linear equations. This is, we did it well in our schools, correct? استخدمنا الطريقة دي زمان واحنا أثناء في ما بعرف المتوسط ولا في الثانوي. Yes, to solve the system. طيب, okay, so this is the first method. Actually, this is, he's using it to solve here. But again, let me remind you by the other method, which is by by elimination. يبقى في طريقة تانية كان أخذناها برضو في الثانوي اللي هي شنو؟ by elimination. elimination يعني شنو؟ معناها بالحذف. okay, substitution بالتعويض. هنا ده التعويض. okay. okay, but here elimination شنو؟ الحذف. okay. طيب, how we do that? okay. Before, we knew that if I multiply one side by a number, I should multiply the other one. Or if I add one side of an equation of another side, I should add this one to that one to keep it balanced. Or I can do both. Multiply this, get a new one, and then after that, the new one, I can add it to this, and also I'll get a balanced equation. صح الميزان قبل شوية لما كنا رسمنا, when we draw the balance, okay, and I'm adding quantities for both hands, okay. So what I do for the left hand side, I should do in the right hand side. Okay, so I'll have this one to solve my system. What I want to do, I want to get or eliminate one of the variables. عايزة أتخلص من one of the variables. Okay, you have to fix it. Which one you want to get? Anyone. ما في مشكلة. Either the x or the y. No problem. Okay, let's assume that I want to get rid of the x. طيب, if I added the two equations, هتبقى 3x minus x, it's going to be 2x. But I don't want the x. طيب, to remove the x, since this is 3x, I want this to be minus 3x. So what comes to your minds? I will multiply this side times 3. So it's going to be شنو? It's going to be خلينا في الأول أضربها. I will multiply times 3. Which equation? This equation. Okay, what's the new equation? It's going to be, instead of this one, it's going to be minus 3x, okay, because I'm multiplying, type plus 3y is equal to 1, to what? To 3? No, because we said what we do for the left hand side, we should do it for the right hand side. If it's 3 times 3, that is 9.
9.
Yeah. Okay, so now what do we have? Leave this equation. What do you have? You have your equation and this new equation. Now, what if we added the two equations? Add them up. When you add them up, you're going to get what? We will get 3x minus 3x. This is 0, correct? So we'll get 0, okay, plus 2y plus 3y. This is 5y. Is equal to what? 11 plus the 9, correct? 11 plus the 9, which is the 20. Yes? So 5y is equal to 20, so y is equal to 20 over 5, which is 4. So we get the value of the y, which is equal to 4. طيب, but still now I need what? I need the value of the x. Type from where I get the value of the x, go and substitute back in any equation, either the first one or the second one. طيب if I substitute it, طبعا السكند more easy صح؟ اللي هو حيكون عندنا minus x, okay, ال y 4 then plus 4 is equal to 3, correct? يبقى what is x? Take the x to the other hand. Oh, even if you left it here, minus x بتساوي 3 minus 4. So is equal to minus 1, is an x is equal to 1. Isn't it the same solution at this one here? Yeah. So يبقى no matter which method, if it's correct, you used it, you're going to reach to the same solution. No one of us can find solutions that is different than the solution of others. Clear? All of us, we should get the same solution, but make sure you're doing the correct steps. Okay. Actually, this method, اللي هو by elimination, is the basic to the matrix form when we solve using the matrix form. So almost the same idea. Okay. For the equations, what we can do, we can multiply an equation with 2 hands. It will not change. صح, the system will be equivalent to the first. So we can, we can add one equation to another equation, correct? We can multiply one equation by a number like this, and then after that add it to this one. Okay. What if I interchange between the rows? If I put this one down and take this one up, how the system is going to be different? No, because what? If I draw the first line and I draw the second line, okay, I'm going to get the solution. Type if I start drawing this one first and then this one second, also I'll get the same solution. So also interchanging the equation, it will not give me a different system. It's the same system. Okay, so actually these, okay, operations, these we are going to use them or deal with them when we are dealing with matrices. We're coming for this next. Okay, but for now we solve using the substitution method and the elimination method. Is it clear for all? طيب, as we said before, what is the matrix? The matrix is a rectangular array like that. It consists of rows and columns, and then we have the dimension here, which is 2 rows and 3 columns. So its dimension is 2 times 3. So this is الماتريكس. والماتريكس عبارة عن بنخد فيها شنو؟ بنخد فيها our data. We arrange it in a certain way. We're coming for that. Okay, so هنا it consists of some data like that. Okay, and this data, it is organized in rows and columns. Okay, طيب. So if this is the first row, okay, the first row, and this is the first column, correct? So يبقى 5, it is the element what? A, which is in the first row, and the first number is for to the row, was second is for the column. So which column? The first column, like that. We will use the elimination, but within the matrix. Okay, actually I told you that the elimination method, it's actually the same way of using the matrix method. Okay, almost the same idea. Oh, it is the basic for الwork في linear when we're dealing with linear equations. Okay. طيب, يبقى what is this element? It is in the second row, correct? And in the second column, so it is the element A22. What about this? It is the element A second row, third column, so it's the element A23. Okay, and etc. طيب, now, first of all, if we want to solve, okay, I have these my equations. How I'm going to put them in a matrix, okay, to get my solution at the end. Type. I have, قلنا, if this is my linear system, I'm going to put my data in a form of a matrix. How we'll do that? Okay, just look at the first row, our first equation. It will give you the first row. So you have 5 الواي الcoefficient حقه 1 and then the constant is 3. Okay, and the same here. We have the coefficient of the x is 2, the coefficient of y is -1, and the coefficient of the x is 4. So first of all, if I have a linear system of equations, to write it in a matrix form, you have to arrange or organize your data like that to get the matrix type. But make sure what? That here, the first column for the coefficients of the x. The second column is for the coefficients of the y, and the last one is for the coefficients of the constant b. Okay, we call it b. Type. What if the equation was 5x plus y equal to 3, and instead of this, he wrote minus y plus 2x is equal to 4. Make sure to arrange the things that the x, the coefficient of the x, are below each other. So it's better you write the equation, okay, or organize your equation or rewrite your equation such that the x at the beginning. So it's going to be 2x minus y is equal to 4, like that. And then after that, you write 5 or 2. يعني if you wrote 5 or minus 1, and then y cannot come 1, and here 2, and then the constant is 3 or 4. So this is correct. Correct? No, it's wrong. Because you need the coefficient of the x, not the coefficient of the y. When you're talking about the column, this column is for the coefficient of taking here 5. So you have to take here the coefficient of the x as well. Clear? Type. What if I don't have y? يعني لو كانت equation, this equation, but here there is no y.
maybe 0.
يعني 0 هنا ما في. Okay. هنا ما في. Okay. How can I write the system? It's going to be 5, 1, 3, and here 2, here 0. That means as if you have 0 for y. Okay, so that place you put, in that place you have to put to fill it with 0. Okay. Type. Now, احنا قلنا in this chapter our aim is to solve system of linear equations. What kind of solutions we can get? Type. Number 1. Okay, let me take a simple system اللي هو فيه 2 equations. We could have a system فيه 3 equations, 4, 5, 9, 10, 100. Okay, no matter. And also the variables ممكن يكونوا 2, 1, 2, 3, 500, no matter. Okay, طبعا كل ما يكون the number of equations less وال number of variable system بيكون very simple. طيب. So here, as an example, I'm taking a system of 2 equations. Type. If we draw linear equations, I'm getting مثلا 2 lines like that. So in this case, I'll get a solution, correct? And actually, it is a unique solution, correct? In this case, I'm getting a unique solution because each 2 lines can intersect only in one point. هل ممكن ال 2 lines to intersect if they are intersecting like that more than no unique point, and these lines are not parallel ما متوازين. Okay, so the slope is different, so this is like that and this is like this. So in this case I can get only one solution, which will have a unique solution. Type. في other case, these 2 lines, they could be if I draw the first one, Okay, and then if I draw the second one, مثلا it lies on the first. طيب, if this is the case, how many solutions you're getting? Tell me, how many solutions? What do you think? How many solutions you're getting? هيكون عندك كم حل؟ احنا قلنا we want the points that satisfy the first line and as well to satisfy the second line. In this case, I got only one, correct? طيب, what if the case is like that? This is the first line and then the second line is on the top of it like this. So how many solutions? What do you think? How many solutions I have?
1.
Is it one? طيب, what about
Mm.
this is a point. It lies in both. Now, this is another point on both.
Yeah.
صح? And this also a point. Okay? And lies on all. And between each point and other points, I can find infinitely many number of points. Correct? In this case, what I'll have, I will have infinitely many number of solutions. I will have how many? Infinitely many. Infinite many solutions. صح؟ Okay. Because each point lies in both. أي point تاخديها من هدول هتلقيها واقعة في الخطين. طيب, يبقى this is the second case. What is the third case? The third case that you will have no solution. What if the lines like that parallel? If you extend it up to infinity like this, كل ما تعمل extend it طبعا line goes to infinity. So the lines will never meet. لو كانوا parallel, لو كانوا متوازين like this. So no intersection at all. ما حيتقاطعوا صح؟ زي مثلا انت ماشي في شارع عديل lines they will never meet صح؟ edges يبقى parallel. The lines are parallel so they never meet. ما بيتقاطعوا. No intersection. يبقى in this case there is no solution. So always, when we're solving system of linear equations, either we'll have a unique solution because there is a unique point, or infinitely many number of solutions, or no solution at all. This is the only possibilities. Okay? يبقى a second case, the line lies on the top of the other. الاثنين واقعين على بعض. يبقى هم as if they are the same point, the same line. يبقى every point that satisfy the first it will satisfy the second. أي نقطة واقعة في الأول هي واقعة في الثاني صح؟ هنا واقعة في الأول واقعة وهكذا. correct? يبقى ونحن عارفين line goes from minus infinity to infinity. You can extend it like that. Okay? Up to infinity. So every point here it lies as well in the second وهكذا. يبقى I will have how many solutions? Infinitely many number of solutions. Is it clear now, Majid? Okay. يبقى these are the only possibilities. يا إما one solution or two sorry, one solution or infinitely many or no solution at all. Okay. If the system has a solution which is unique أو I have infinitely many solutions, بنقول في الحالة دي شنو؟ The system is consistent. لو كان في حل okay. لو كان في حل solution we say that the system is what? Is consistent. يبقى في الحالة دي السيستم ماله is consistent. Okay? Consistent. طيب if there is no solution الحالة الثالثة the system is inconsistent. يبقى it is inconsistent system. Okay? يبقى either there is a solution no matter it is a unique or infinitely many, then in this case the system is consistent. But if there is no solution we say that the system is inconsistent system. It has no solution, inconsistent. يبقى في الحالة اللي هنا دي شنو؟ They are consistent while in this one it is inconsistent. Okay? طيب. Moreover, If there is a unique solution, like this case, we say that the system is independent, okay? If there is one solution, it is independent. So you're going to get the solution just like the point 1 and 3, 1 minus 5, على حسب solution, okay? So it is independent system. But if we have infinitely many solutions, so we say that it is a dependent system. It depends, the solution, it depends on a certain value, t, and then the t, or it could be more than one value, TUS, n, whatever. So whatever a value you give for this, for t, then you will get a solution depending on that one. We'll come for that and discuss it later. Okay, but for now you have to know, if we have a unique solution, then we say that the system is independent system, and just you will get a one solution, an exact value. Okay, if you have infinitely many solutions, يبقى أنا عايزة حيجيني شنو infinitely many points. So in this case, we say that the system is dependent system. So you will have a solution that depend on some variables. على حسب الفاليو بتاعت variables دي, then you can get or you can get your solution in terms of this. Okay, substituting for this a real value, then you're going to get a some certain values. We'll come for that later. Okay, but is it clear for now? Okay, طيب. Now we want to start to solve our linear equations or linear system using the linear algebra or using matrices. But first, if I have, this is a system of linear equations, صح? The first equation, this is the second, and etc. I have till the last one. Okay, how I will arrange my data? Okay, we knew that before. Type. And here we will write it like this. Okay, so A11, this is the first constant here, the second here اللي هو related to x2. احنا قلنا شنو? First write here or put in your mind that this is regarding the x1 and this is the x2 and then the x3 هنا مثلا في x3 somewhere وهكذا till the last one. Okay, اللي هو شنو? xn. And then start putting where, and here this one regarding the constants, which is b. We'll give it the name b. Okay, so we have a11 x1, x2 a12, and then etc. You put till the last one, which is a1n for the variable xn, and then the constant b1, and then a21 for x1, وهكذا a22 for x2, till the last one a2n for xn, and then b2 and etc. till the last one. So this, we put our information or our data, or we organize our data in this form before solving, and this we call it, this we call it the augmented matrix. يبقى when we do that, that means we put our variable, sorry, we organize our data in as an augmented matrix. يبقى this is, if he gave you a system like that, and then he said find the augmented matrix, immediately just you have to write this like that. Type. Now, moreover, if he said put it in a matrix form, that means we want to write it like that, in a form of a matrix, and then the variables x, and then the constant like that. So what is A? A is a matrix. What is which matrix is this? It is for the coefficient here in this part, or for coefficients of the variables in this part. Okay, so from this part you're going to get the matrix A, which is, we call it the coefficient matrix. Why the coefficient matrix? Because it consists only of the coefficient of the variables. معاملات المتغيرات اللي هم شنو؟ A11 so A11 A12 A12 وهكذا لحد الأخير A1N so A1N, correct? And then you do for the others. Okay? يبقى this we call it what? The coefficient matrix. It contains or consists of شنو? Which data? The coefficients of the variables arranged and organized in this matrix. Okay. Now after that, beside it you put what? The vector of the variables. What variables? عندي variables شنو؟ x1 x2 x3 لحد xn. هل في حاجة بأكتر من xn؟ مثلا xm؟ لا. The last was the xn. So list them all like that here. So this is a vector of the variables or the vector x. Okay, so this is, we give it the name x. And then after that the equality, and then these constant اللي هم b. So you put them here اللي هم right hand side b1 b2 b3 لحد bm like that. Okay, so this form we call it what? We call it the matrix form. If he gave me the equation, the system of linear equation, and he said write it in a matrix form, so what is the matrix form? It is this form. You do that all. Okay, يبقى ممكن يديني equation, a system of linear equations, and then he may ask me to put it in a matrix form. If he asks me to put it in a matrix form, I have to put it like that. If he asks me to find the augmented matrix, so I have to write it like that. No, this column, you will not write it. Okay, just put this data and then a line, separate by a line, and then put the constant here like that. Okay, so this is, we call it the augmented matrix. واضح? Sometimes he may not write this line. يعني ممكن اللاين ده يديك له ما مرسوم. Could it happen? Yes. Okay, يعني ده يكون ما مرسوم. طيب, again, still it is the augmented matrix. But if he gave it in a problem, he should say that I'm giving you the augmented matrix. So you have, in that case, you will know that this, the constants, اللي هم ال B, this one, if he didn't draw the line. واضح? So just make sure when he's giving you a matrix, is he giving you the augmented matrix ولا he is giving you the coefficient matrix? For one of two في المسألة لازم انتبه, this one or this one. Is he giving me the coefficient matrix؟ لو اداني قال لي the coefficient matrix, that means he's giving me only this part. واضح؟ If he said this is augmented matrix of a linear system, that means he's giving me all this part or this. He gave me the coefficient and also the constant terms here. Clear? Any question for now? Do we know خلاص clearly what is the matrix form, what is the augmented matrix, what is the coefficient matrix? Any question? Okay. Now, this is what system of linear equation. Yeah, each equation is linear. Yeah, it's clear. And this is linear and this is linear. So this is a system of linear equations. طيب, and this system we have how many equation? 1 2 3. How many rows? هيكونوا 3. How many unknown? 1 2 3 4. هل في x5 هل في x6? No. ده لحد x4. يبقى I have 4 unknown and 3 equations. طيب, the number of equations بديني شنو؟ بديني the number of rows. يبقى from here, since there are 3, I will have how many rows? 3 rows. طيب, عندي كم unknown؟ 1 2 3 4 unknown. يبقى ده حيدوني شنو؟ a number of columns. How many columns you will have in your matrix? Okay, يبقى always the number of columns هو عبارة عن the number of the unknowns. والنمبر of rows هو النمبر of the equations I have. طيب the matrix form بتاعت اللي هو this one المفروض تكون in the form ax بتساوي b. What is a؟ اللي هو ال coefficients here of the variables. So 1 3 minus 1 1 1 3 minus 1 1 and then from the second one 1 2 1 2. Then what about x3? There is nothing for x3, so I put 0 and then minus 2, correct? And etc. You complete. Here in this one there is no x4. If the equation was not arranged, كانت ال x2 here وال x3 here, please arrange it before you proceed. Okay, so we got what? Because we got the coefficient matrix. And then we need the x, which is the vector, اللي هو فيه ال variables. I have how many variables from x1 to x4, so it's like that. And then what's the constants? Then minus 7, 9, and 7, that is. So يبقى لو عايز الماتريكس form, just طبعا remove this, put them beside each other like what? Like we did here, like this. هنا هتحط ال coefficient, put this and then the equality and then you put this. And then you got the, the matrix form. طيب if I want the augmented matrix, what we said? We said we don't write this. Just we write the coefficient اللي هو ال A, the coefficient matrix اللي هي ال A, and then put a line. So this is the line, and then the constant, that is this, the constant اللي هم ال B. Yes. So this is my augmented matrix. You've got this linear system. Okay, before solving, I have to arrange it. Okay, in particular, I need actually the augmented matrix, which is this one. But if he asked me to find the matrix form, I write this one like that. Okay. طيب. Now, here the constants are some real numbers. They are not all zeros. صح؟ أرقام ما كلها صفر. يعني 9 could be مثلا تبقى صفر أو يكون عندي minus 700 أو one of them or two of them or okay to be zeros. ما في مشكلة in this case. But what if all of them are zeros? 0 0 0. This one we call it a homogeneous system. يبقى when all last هنا constant to the right hand side are all zeros, this we will call it what? We will call it the homogeneous system. Okay. Again, if I need the matrix form, is there a different way? No, it's the same as the previous, but here the constant بدل ما سماها B, he can call it O, or even you can call it B, ما في مشكلة. But it consists of شنو؟ كلها zeros. يبقى even يعني لو اداني matrix like this قال لي this is the coefficient matrix. Now solve the homogeneous system. احنا قلنا before I solve I have to find the augmented matrix, correct? طيب he did not give me the equation, but he gave me this one, and then he said solve the homogeneous system. So I want the constant, but since he said it is homogeneous, immediately I will know that the coefficients are zeros. So if I want to write the augmented matrix, immediately I'll put this one and then the line, and here I'll put zeros. So we know now clearly, okay, that homogeneous system, that means all the constants are at the end or the right hand side are what? Zeros. يبقى don't ask me from where I'll get the constants. هو اداني الكوفيشنت لكن I know what are the constant because the system is homogeneous. يبقى I'll put كده واخد هنا zeros. Okay, طبعا if he gave me the system like that, immediately I'll do the things as we knew before, arrange the data and put like that. واضح؟ يبقى this is the augmented matrix. Okay. Now, if we want to solve this our system of linear equations, we knew that I'll be given a system. The first step I have to do to put my or to organize my data, okay, in a form of what we call it the augmented matrix, like that. Okay, this is the first step. Then what's next? Do you remember before when we have been solving system of linear equations here? Okay, what we are doing? We are starting from the system and we moved by doing some steps to an equivalent system. Okay, مكافئ له, unbalanced. Okay, but solution for this system is easy now. I can get the solution, or easier. Okay, and then after that I got the solution, and a solution I got it from this system or to this system. Actually it was the solution for that one. Yes, so here we will do the same. We will start from a system. We will try to go to a simpler equivalent system to the first one. How we do that, this we will learn in this course. Okay, so there are hidden steps here. Okay, till now we didn't know how to do it. Okay, but by doing some steps, what we will reach to a simpler equivalent system that I can easily solve it. And then after that, I can get my solution. Actually, let me do it. We know that here, when we're arranging the data, this was for the x1, and this is what is for the x, and this was for the y, and this is for the z. طبعا here are constant terms. Okay, b. Here, now also this is for the x, this is for the y, and this is for the z, and this is for the b. So now let's write the equation for this one, for the new system. What do we have? We have 1x, that is x, plus 0y, so it is 0, plus 0z, plus 0 is equal to what? Is equal to 2. So from this, that means what is your x value? X is equal to 2. So we got the solution x بتساوي 2. Then what about from the second row? 0 في x, which is 0, 1 في y, which is y, okay, and 0 في z by 0, طبعا plus 0, y is equal to what? Minus 1. So we get the y value. And also from the last one, we can get the z. هل هي z هتكون بتساوي 3. So directly here, when I reach here, I got the solution easily. طيب, since this system is equivalent to that system, that then what do I expect? I will expect, you know, that this solution is a solution for this system as well, which is that system. If you substitute it, you will find that it will solve the system. Or this one will be equal to 9 when you substitute for x, y, z, and etc. Clear? Ibga, what is our task here? When we want to solve, when we are using linear algebra to solve our system of linear equations. Okay, what task we have to do? Tasks. Okay, this is the system. First, you have to write it in the augmented matrix, augmented form, like that. Do some steps. We're coming for that, and then reach to a simpler system. Okay, and then after that, solve this simpler system and get the solution. And your solution is the solution for that, and that means you solve the system and you got the solution. To make sure that this is correct, I did a correct steps, take this and substitute it in the first equation. You're going to get 9. Substitute it here, you should get 8, and etc. This is after solving. Clear? Type. Now, before I give you the steps, okay, I want to show you where we should reach. How can I know that this is one of the simpler equations, or where I want to reach. I want to reach, okay, to an equivalent system. For that, one of the equivalent systems, we call it the echelon form. Okay, يبقى solving a system of linear equations, okay, I can solve it easily if I reduce my system, or I did some steps and reach to what we call it the echelon form. Type, how can I know that? Oh, what is the echelon form? Let me tell you about the echelon form. Type. The echelon form of a matrix, if we have any matrix, M times N matrix, okay, this matrix, I can say that it is in the echelon form if it satisfies 4 conditions. What are they? Okay, let's take a matrix like that. Okay, type. The first rule, the first non-zero entry in each row should be a 1. So I come to the first row. Check. What is the number here? If it is 0, leave it. Go to the second. If it is a number, this number, he said, you know, it should be 1. So the first non-zero entry, it should be a 1. So if this place have no 0, that number should be 1. No any other number. أبقى الفيرست entry non-zero entry أو from the left من الشمال وانت ماشي. أول عدد غير صفري يلاقيك لازم يكون 1. Okay? And this one we will call it what? The leading one. هنسميه a leading one because it is in the front of all the other numbers. So it leads its row. عشان ما تنسى. هو في مقدمة المجموعة صح؟ So كأنه leading the others. Okay, anyway, we call it the leading one. Okay, so الواحد ده بنسميه شنو؟ The leading one. Okay, يبقى this is the first. And this should be for every row. For every row, the first non-zero entry لازم يكون 1. But يبقى first condition شنو؟ non-zero entry اللي هو first non-zero entry or number in the row المفروض يكون شنو؟ should be equal to 1. وده ال1 ده بنسميه شنو؟ بنسميه leading one. طب okay. Then second, what's next? طيب. In the column, الcolumn معناه like this. Yes. Whenever you find the leading one, all the other entries with it in the same column should be zeros. يكونوا شنو؟ يكونوا أصفار. يبقى شنو؟ The only number in the column يكون عندي شنو؟ لما يكون في leading one يكون this one. But all the others كل الأعداد الثانية تكون أصفار. Okay? طيب okay. Now, if it's like that, let's come to the second row. خلينا نيجي للrow second row. طيب. خلاص يبقى شنو؟ because here there is leading one, here there is 0. خلاص the first entry is 0. طيب I have to come to the next. Let's assume إنها 0. Okay, let's assume إنها 0 as well. خلاص يبقى this is not the first entry. طيب I come to this number. There is a number. If there is a number which is not 0, it should be what? It should be 1. يبقى دايما الأصفار على الشمال, it's not a problem. But whenever there is a number, the starting number should be 1. طيب يبقى this is a leading one for the second row. Okay. What else? احنا قلنا all the other entries number 2 في الكولوم that has a leading one should be zeros. Okay, yes. يعني شنو؟ each leading one هو شنو؟ هو the only non-zero entry. is the only non-zero entry. صح؟ في الكولوم in the column. في الكولوم بتاعه في العمود حقه. طيب. Okay. So this is a leading one. What I'm expecting for this column, all the other entries المفروض يكونوا تحت الواحد ده يكونوا شنو؟ يكونوا أصفار. Okay. طيب. Then I should come to the third column. Okay. So this is 0. Okay. Here this is 0. لازم أشوف the first non-zero entry. It should be, let's say إنه مثلا هنا كان في number. This number also should be 1. Okay. So that is all the here the others here they should be شنو؟ zeros. كل ال other entries معاه في ال column المفروض يكونوا zeros. طيب. Can I have the one here? Now the question, can I have the one here? Not there? Not after? No. Why? Because there is a third condition. What is the third condition? The third condition is that every leading one should be to the right of the previous. يعني ده يكون يمين ده. And then this one to the right of all the previous. طيب يعني لازم يكون في يمين كل. طيب if I put it here, could it be possible? No. Why? Because it should be to the right of all the previous. يبقى المفروض يكون here. يمينه يا هنا يا هنا يا. Okay? In one of the place here or there or there or there, but not here. Definitely not here. Because if it is here, it is not to the right of that one. طيب. احنا قلنا شنو؟ الخواص 3. الأوائل الاثنين معروفين. طيب this one, sorry, I'll speak in Arabic for a while. ده ليه ما هنا؟ ليه هنا ما ممكن يكون واحد؟ لأنه في خاصية في property عشان ما يكون أنا عندي في الإشلون فورم. What؟ دايما الليدنج ones يكونوا في يمين الفوقيهم. طب لو خطيته 1 هنا ده حيكون شنو؟ حيكون الليدنج 1 يسار دي ما يمينه. So it's not impossible. واضح؟ يبقى يا حيكون هنا يا حيكون هنا يا حيكون هنا but not here. اوكي؟ يبقى من البروبرتي الثالثة اللي هي شنو؟ each leading one should be where? Is to the right of what? Of the previous. لازم يكون في يمين. يبقى we cannot have it here. طب okay, what about this one? What do you expect to be? احنا قلنا أول entry from the left it should be 1. فهل ده ممكن يكون 2 ولا 3 ولا 5؟ No. يبقى the only way out also this to be 0 like that. لأنه لو كان عدد لازم يكون 1. ما بالضرورة. ليه؟ لأنه هنا الخانة الثانية ال1 كان هنا ما كان هنا. صح؟ يبقى هنا ممكن يكون في عدد yes it could be مثلا 2 ممكن يكون 3 ممكن يكون 5 ممكن يكون أي عدد. يبقى لو مشيت في خط مستقيم كان حتمشي كده. فهمت علي؟ أنت just stick للخواص. طيب. The last thing is that what? Number 4. Any zero row should be at the end. لو في if there is zero row should be when? At the end of the matrix, or last at the bottom of the matrix. If you find zeros في واحد من الأخير, no, then it is not in the echelon form. يبقى there are 4 things I'm looking after to know that I reach the echelon form or no. واحد, الفيرست non zero entry, الفيرست non zero entry تكون 1. أول عدد غير صفري في أي رو يكون شنو؟ يكون 1. And we call it the leading one. هنسميه leading one. اوكي, في مقدمة المجموعة بتاعته. طيب, the second thing, each leading one should be the only non-zero entry في الكولوم. لما نيجي عين للكولوم لقيت the leading one, أقوم عين للكولوم حقه. All the others should be zeros in that column. Now this is a leading one. All the others in this column, they should be zeros. Here, this is a leading one. All the others, they should be شنو? Zeros. طيب, this here, this one has no leading one. يبقى I can have numbers here. ما في مشكلة. Okay, it has no leading one, this column here. Okay, now what is the third property? That each leading one should be to the right of the previous. هنا ده leading one. يمين الفوقيه ولا لا? Yes. And etc. Okay. The last thing, if we have a zero row, it should be at the bottom of the matrix. آخر row في الماتريكس. Okay, clear for all? Okay, then let's examine these matrices here. And let's say whether they are in the reduced echelon form or no. Now, what about the first one, matrix? Is it in the reduced echelon form or no? What do you think? Huh? Is it في reduced echelon form or no? خلينا نتحقق 1-1. The first في first row, the first non-zero entry, it is 1. Okay. All the elements with it in the column, all others are zeros. Okay. Then we test the second row. The first non-zero entry is 1. All the others element with it in the column are zeros. It is to the right of that. Okay. So now we come to the third row. The first non-zero entry is 1. It is كل elements اللي معاه others are zeros. هو only شنو entry there. صح؟ All the others are zeros. هو only non-zero entry. طيب. And it is to the right of the others. Okay. هل في رو رابع عشان to test? No. هل في رو كله zeros? No. يبقى ما عندي المشكلة الأخيرة دي عشان أكون في النهاية. Okay. But all they are satisfied. يبقى خلاص clearly this one is in the reduced echelon form. واضح؟ يبقى الماتريكس دي it is in the echelon form. واضح؟
دكتورة بعد إذنك لازم أنت قلتي من ضمن الشروط إنه آخر شيء يكون أصفار.
إذا في أصفار يكون في النهاية. إذا بشرط. If there is if في row فيه all its elements are zeros يكون at the end. But I don't have. يبقى أساسا الكونديشن ما في. ما عندي مشكلة.
طيب.
You got it?
Yes, yes.
طيب. Now this, what about this one? Before I go to this one, let me ask you a question. طيب, what if I have here مثلا number like 2? Okay, is it in the reduced echelon form now, like that? What do you think? لو العدد هناك فوق فيه 2 اداني matrix like this, is it in the reduced echelon form?
No.
No. Why?
لأنه في واحد في 2 قبل ما العمود حق الواحد.
العمود لازم يكون عندي leading one، لازم في العمود ده يكون ال others شنو؟ ال other entries are zeros. يبقى it's not. واضح؟ طيب okay. Let's move to the second example. هل this matrix في reduced echelon form or no? Let's test that. نجي ال first row. كل رو لازم يكون عنده leading one. اوكي، اذا ما عنده leading one المفروض كل الالمنتس حقينه يكونوا اصفار، ما في حل غير كده. واضح؟ طيب نجي for the first row. اوكي، leading one it's there. other entries are zeros. Okay, I'm done. نجي للsecond row. first non-zero entry is 1. All the other entries معاه are zeros. It is to the right of that. Okay. أجي للthird row. أمشي لحد ما ألقى أول رقم 0 0 0. The first number here. Yeah, it is 1. Okay. What about the other entries? Are zeros. Okay. It is to the right of the previous. Okay. Now we move to this. I'm searching for the leading one. No leading one, but كل ال elements are zeros. يبقى I'm fine. احنا قلنا يا اما يكون كله اصفار يا اما لازم الرو يكون عنده leading one. Okay. All are zeros. طب okay. But is it at the bottom or no? Yes, it is at the bottom. يبقى all the four conditions are satisfied. يبقى yes, this one is in the reduced echelon form. Clear? طيب, now what if I put a 1 here? What if I put a 1 here? What do you think? Now, is it in the reduced echelon form or no? Tell me. Is it in the reduced echelon form or no? Huh, I want to hear from you. هل حتكون في reduced echelon form؟ حقق الأربع شروط دي، شوف الأربع شروط دي متحققة. يعني إحنا الاثنين الأوائل they are okay. طيب what about the third؟ نجي للثيرد. أها. No. صح. ليه؟ Because in this case, if it happens like that, then for this row, the leading one is this one, not that one. Not that one. It is this one اللي هو الفارس non-zero entry. أول واحدة بعد الأصفار اللي هو أول عرق أهو. طيب, if this is the leading one, what should happen? المفروض هنا يكون ده zero وده zero. So in this case, the matrix will not be in the reduced echelon form. طيب, okay. Now, another question. What if I have 2 here? 2, 5, 7, minus 6, any number. What if I have 2 here? Is it in the reduced echelon form? Is this matrix in the reduced echelon form? What do you think? الأول صح والثاني صح والثالث صح. طب نيجي للرو الرابع. What do you think? It's okay? It's fine?
No, because the first non-zero entry isn't 1.
Yeah. So it's not correct. This should be 1. طب okay, now another question. What if I make it 1? What do you think? What if I make it 1 like that? Is it in the reduced echelon form or no?
No.
Why?
Because it's in the left.
Yeah, because it's in the left. We said each leading one should be to the right of the previous, like in the شمال دي. صح? So it's not correct. إنها in the reduced echelon form. Clear? I believe now it's more clear how or what is the echelon form, correct? طيب, let's test the last one. The first non-zero entry is 1. صح؟ الكولوم حقها it is the only non-zero entry. Okay, so I'm done with the first. Now we come to the second. The first non-zero entry is 1, and it is كل شنو? It is the only non-zero entry في الكولوم حقها, correct? And it is to the right, and it is to the right of the previous, correct? Now we come to the third. the first non-zero entry is 1. Okay, a column, it's the only non-zero entry, and it is to the right of the previous. Okay, now we come to the last. ما في هو leading one, but ما في مشكلة ليه؟ لأن all the entries are zeros. طب okay, if all they are zeros, they should be at the bottom. Are they at the bottom? Yes. يبقى خلاص. يبقى all the 4 conditions are satisfied. يبقى this matrix, it is in the echelon form. Okay, so this one, it is in the echelon form. طيب the same. طيب can I put مثلا 1 هنا for instance, or a number here? What do you think? What if can I put a 1 here?
No,
No. Why?
because it's gonna be on the left of the previous.
Yeah, because it's going to be in the left of the previous. يعني ما كان حيكون this is the leading one. كان ال leading one حق الرو ده حيكون شنو؟ أول عدد غير صفري. This one. But if it is this one, then it is to the left of this previous one. شمال اللي فوقه. Which is not. إحنا قلنا always ال leading one لازم يكون في اليمين. Okay. يبقى now we knew what is the echelon form, and our aim is to start from the system, write the system in the augmented form, do some steps, and reach to a form that is equivalent to that one, but it is simpler. One of these forms is the echelon form. واحد من الفورمز اللي احنا ممكن نوصل ليه عشان بنحل السيستم حقنا easily هو شنو؟ هو الechelon form. Okay, and we knew how the echelon form looks like, and later in the coming class we will know how to get the solution. But now let me start showing you the steps to go from here to there. Okay, by the way, before I go, what do you think if I wrote this equation, not this matrix, is it in the echelon form or no? مثلا 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0, and then lastly 0 0 0 1. Before you ask me a line, so now for instance this one, and ones are in the diagonal like that, correct? And I can draw a line for them in this case. Okay, what do you think? This one, is it in the echelon form or no?
Yes.
Test it. Yes. Let's test it. The first non-zero entry 1. All the others are zeros. The first non-zero entry is 1. All the others in the column are zeros. It is to the right of the previous. And here, the first one, all zeros to the right of the others. The first non-zero entry is 1. All the others معاهم في الcolumn are zeros. It is to the right of the others. Okay. يبقى, and this from now I am telling you, we call it the identity matrix. اللي هي الماتريكس بتاعت الوحدة. كل الdiagonals are 1. It's also one of the types of the echelon form. يعني ممكن الماتريكس حاجتي يبقى شكلها زي كده. Yes, and it is in the echelon form. And don't mix it up. It sometimes some of the matrices they could reach here, but they could not. لأنه clear. This is echelon form. This is echelon form. But they are not like that. يعني ما بالضرورة كل الماتريكس يكونوا one in the diagonal عشان أكون أنا في الechelon form. واضح؟ Sometimes yes, it could happen. Okay, so this is one of, it is an example of the one of the matrices that are in the echelon form as well. Okay, now let's see this matrix. Is it in the echelon form or no? Is it in the echelon form or no?
No.
No. Why?
إنه مو أول عدد بعد الزيرو I think.
لا، أول عدد بعد زيرو بعد واحد. لكن قولي لأنه ده leading one. مفروض الأعداد اللي معاه في الكولوم حقه يكونوا أصفار and this is not a zero. Okay? You got it?
Okay.
انت تفتش leading one وبعدين تعيني للكولوم حقه. طيب. So it's not في الechelon form. Okay. We're going to do some steps and to reach here. Now the new one, is it in the echelon form or no? دي في الechelon form or no? Huh?
Yes.
Yes. 1 zeros. This is the 1. This is zeros. So this is 1 zeros and all the leading ones are to the right of each other. Okay. So it is in the reduced echelon form. So okay. Now I'll tell you how can I move from here to there. Type. As we did before when we solved the linear system using the method of elimination, we can do 3 operations only. You are not allowed إلا to do شنو 3 operations. طيب the first one, what? I can multiply a row by a constant. Multiply by a constant. And this constant should not equal to 0 بأي عدد غير صفري. Okay, this is multiply. Okay, we can multiply. Okay, دي واحدة من العمليات allowed. You can multiply any row, this one by a number, or this one by a number, or that one. Clear? Right. The second thing you are allowed to do, we can interchange between the rows. ممكن نغير بين الصفوف. صح? As we did before. When at the beginning, okay, of the class, I told you that if I change one equation in the place of the other, it will not give me new information, correct? Yes, well, we did that. Yeah, here, correct? If I took this equation and put it here on the top of this, so خلاص, it's the same system. This line I draw first or this one doesn't, I'll get the same answer, correct? So always I can interchange between the rows there. And as well, I can multiply a row by a number and then add it to the other, correct? Like we did here. We multiplied this row by -3 by 3, okay? We got this and then we added this to that, yes? Okay, so this is the only allowed operations that you can do when you are doing, you know, when you're using matrices or you're doing linear algebra type. We can interchange between 2 rows, قلنا 2 rows, any 2 rows ممكن تغيرهم مع بعض. 3 what? Multiply a row by a number and add it to another. Okay, يبقى from now put in your mind. First, you cannot deal with the columns. Only you can work in rows. الحاجة الوحيدة اللي ممكن تشتغل فيها شنو؟ هي rows. Don't take the columns. يعني can I interchange a column in a place of the other? No. Clear? You cannot put the column in the place of the other. Only the row, you can take this up and مثلا put this one down. It's okay. ده واحد. 2 ممكن I multiply the whole row, not part of the row. كل row when you do, you should multiply it by a number. Lastly, you can multiply this row by a number, مثلا, or this one or this, okay, for instance, this one, and then add the new row to one of the previous and then put it back here. يعني take this one out and put the new one in its place. So this is the only, you know, operation that are allowed when you are solving using matrices or linear algebra. Okay. And طبعا you do it where? In your augmented matrix. Okay. For instance, if we have this matrix, I need to move to the echelon form. First, I have to find where's my problem. Where's my problem? My problem is that this 3. I have to make it what? I have to make it 0. طب how can I make it 0? How can I make it 0? Okay, using these properties here, one of these properties. طيب, clearly, if I interchange, okay, this one, the leading one, is going to be changed. So it will be a problem. So I'm not going to use interchanging rows, okay? And even if I multiply by a number, it will not solve the problem. Actually, it's clear I'm going to use this property. Type. How can I use this property? Type. I will look from now, I'm telling you. This 3 is in which column? It is in this column. Where the leading one for that column? It is this here. So what you're going to do, use this row that contains the leading one to simplify, okay, or to get rid of the 3. I will use this row. Later, it will be more clear, but now I'm telling you to keep this one here and not to change the numbers here. Always, when you are changing any, you want to make any number 0, use what? Use the row that contains the leading one of that column. Okay, so that means I will use this row. Let's call them. This is the first row, R1. This is the second row, R2. This is the third row, R3. Okay, so I want to change the first row using the second row. Okay, so which row you want to change? I want to change R1. So the new R1 is going to be equal to what? Is going to be equal. How can I make the 3 0? If I want to add to it, add to it minus 3, because 3 plus minus 3 is equal to 0, correct? So to make this 3 0, I have to add to it minus 3. Type from where I'll get it? I'll get it how? By multiplying this row by minus 3, correct? Okay. Type. Oh, sorry. Type. So this is R1. I want to write the new R1. So the new R1, what I'll do? What if I multiply R2 by minus 3 times minus 3? Okay, put it in your mind. Just don't change this line. But if I multiply times minus 3, this is going to be 0 for minus 3 is 0. 1 times minus 3 is minus 3. 0 times minus 3 again is 0. 1 times minus 3 is minus 3. Okay, and then I multiplied this row by minus 3. Now I'm adding the row I'm going to change with this row times minus 3. So 1 plus 0, the 1. Okay, 3 plus minus 3, it will give me 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. Yes, and now it's clear. This element now here, now it is instead of 3, now it became 0, and I'm okay now because this column that has a leading one, all the other entries with it now are theirs. What I did, I changed R1. How I change it? I change it like that. This is the row I want to change. I add it to it minus triple R2. Is it okay? Yeah, actually it is this property I used it. and I got this matrix. And now after that, I'm going to check. Still, there is something more to do to reach to the echelon form. No, I'm fine. This is 1, and these are zeros. This is the first non-zero entry 1, and the others are zeros, and this is 1, and the others are 0. They are to the right of each other, leading 1. Okay, each leading 1 is to the right of the previous, and no zeros. ما في row few zeros. If I have no that problem, and خلاص, this is in the reduced echelon form. In this example, I had only one step. Some of them, they need a lot of steps to reach the echelon form, but fortunate enough, just only here I want to make this 3 as a 0. Okay. طيب. Now let's go. Is it clear, this one? Now? Is it clear? Okay. Things also will be more clear if we moved or did a lot of examples. طيب. Okay. For instance, here this one.
مس
طيب.
بعد إذنك بعد 4 minutes عندي كلاس تاني. المحاضرة مسجلة ولا كيف يصير؟
مسجل وحرسل عليكم إن شاء الله. Okay. You can quit for the other class. Anyway, there are still 6 minutes. I will end the class just after a few minutes. طيب. So now what about this one? Is it in the echelon form? We start from the first row. This is 1. All the others are 0. Okay. This is the leading one of this. هل كل الأother? No. So it's clear. This is a problem. We want to make this one 0. Time. Because this one now it's not in the echelon form. So this is the first task I have to do. So what I do, I want to make this the R3. I want to change R3. So I want to change which row? R3. I don't change only one element. And we said what? We use the whole row. We change the whole row if I'm changing. Type. Okay. Then how can I change it? Which row I'm going to use? Check.
R2.
Column. Yeah. So because this is the leading one for this. So this is the leading one. If in this column, this is the leading one. Okay, and I want to change. So I'm going to use R2. Okay. Type. What is the new R3? What is my task? I want to make this one 0 using R2. So how can I make it? Look at that element. What is the relation? Just if I subtract, correct?
Yes.
Okay, as if you are multiplying R2 by -1 and then adding by -1 and then adding, or هو نفس المعنى بتاع subtraction صح؟ طيب, so يبقى هغير R3. The new R3 is equal to the previous R3, subtracting from it R1. Okay, let's do that. R2, sorry.
R2.
So let's do it. Now I write this as it is, write that one as it is, and the last one as it is. This is the only row I want to change. Okay, let's change it. R3, which is this, minus that. So 0 minus 0, it is 0. 1 minus 1, it is 0. Then 4 minus 4, it is 0. 1 minus 0, it is 1. So I got this matrix, new matrix. It is equivalent to that one because I did only row operations. Okay, that keep this matrix of the new one, makes the new matrix to be equivalent to the previous one. Okay, now is this one in the reduced echelon form?
Yes.
If there is extra classes, I'll send you an email. Okay, so I send you, just check by Thursday evening. Type. So this is 1 zeros, and this is 1 zeros, leading 1 here. This is 1, and the others are zeros. So last one, it has all elements 0, and it's the bottom. Okay, so I'm done. This one. Now we do the test, the last one. What do you think? Type 1 all zeros. نجي second 1 all zeros. I'm fine. Now this one. All the zeros, but they are not in the bottom. This is not in the reduced echelon form. What should I do? So while you switch, because we can interchange between the rows, switch with the last one. This is the last one. So I take this down and put this up. Now it becomes like that. It becomes like that. Type. Now after this, now I test. Should I do some other operation in this case or no? Test this one. One, all zeros. This is the leading one. All others are zeros here. This is the leading one. All other entries are zeros, and the last one has no leading one, but all of them, they are zeros. Then I'm fine if get this one in the reduced echelon form. Clear? Okay. How we're going to work? We will work only using this 3 ways or operations. Type okay. Now, to start from a system and reduce to the echelon form, we can do one of 3. واحد, interchanging 2 rows. I can do that. This is, we call it elementary row operations. We can do elementary row operations. Type what we can do, interchanging 2 rows. The second, we can multiply 1 row by a non-zero number. The third, we can add a multiple of 1 row to a different row. Okay, we can add a multiple of 1 row to a different row. Okay, so these actually are the 3 things we set here. Let me go quickly through this example and then we stop. Type. For instance, if we have this matrix, okay, just to show you how we do these things. For instance, now, احنا قلنا the first non-zero entry should be 1. Okay, easily, either I can divide over 3. That means multiply times 1 over 3, because we said we can multiply by any real number, non-zero real number, by any constant, which is not 0, not equal to 0. صح? Okay, so I can multiply times 1 over 3. Okay, so this is going to be 1 and this is to be 2 وما في كسور, and this is 3. Well, work will be easy. Else, what I can do, I can interchange this one by this one. يبقى هنا حيطلع فوق وده حينزل تحت. How can I write this? As here he did, or he did it like that. So how we do? We can interchange, we write it like that. R1 in the place of R2 and R2 in the place of R1. We write it like that. طيب يبقى حيكون شنو? The first row 1 1 2 1 1 2 and the second 3 6 9. Okay, and then that is in its place like this. طيب, this is just an example that I didn't reduce to the echelon form لحد النهاية. Just I want to show you these 3 operations, how they work. طيب, for instance here, this one. Now he can multiply this one times 1 over 3, correct? How we write it like that? That is, I want to change R2. What is the new R2? The new R2 is the previous one times 1 over 3. So this one times 1 over 3. So it's going to be, you know, 1 2 3. صح؟ لأنه 3 times 1 over 3 is 1, correct? 3 multiply times all the row times 1 over 3. So 3 times 1 over 3 is 1. 6 times 1 over 3 is 2. And هكذا 9 times 1 over 3 is 3. صح؟ لأنه 9 over 3, which is 3. Okay. طيب else, now if we have this matrix, let's assume we want to make this number 0. How can I make this number 0? Where is the leading one for this one? It is this one. صح? This is an entry that في الكولوم دي that الكولوم leading one حقه is 1 here, is this element. So I want to change R3 using what? Using R1. طيب, how can I change it? كيف أعمل the 0 if this number was -2, correct? Because when now I add it now, it will give me 0. So it's clear what I should multiply R3 by. Sorry, I should multiply. I want to change R3, correct? Using R1. So I will multiply R1 by -2. So I'll get -2 R1. Okay? And now يبقى حيكون شنو؟ R3 minus 2 R1. Yes. طيب, يبقى it will give me my new R3. يبقى هيكون شنو؟ يلا. I will multiply, but when I multiply يا جماعة I'll put it in my mind. يعني ما هغير. I want to change only R3. يبقى R1 و R2 هيقعدوا زي ما هم. هيكونوا 1 1 2 1 2 3. Okay? So I want to change this one. Okay, using that one. Okay, now I will multiply R1, but in my mind with -2. So this number is going to be -2, and this number is going to be equal to -2, and this number is going to be equal to 2 في -2 -4. And then I add the one in my mind to this one. Okay, so what is the result? 2 plus -2 is 0. 0 plus -2 is -2. And then 3 plus -4 is -1. Okay, so this is now my matrix. How can I get it? How I got it? I changed the row R3. How I change it? I change it by subtracting from it. This is the old one minus twice R1. So I get this one. Okay, so I did only row operations. هل دي في reduce echelon form? No, I have to do other steps. But for now, I just show you how to reduce, how to do row operations. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll stop here. Okay, but please try at least to read this and try to solve that, to reduce this to the echelon form. Okay, and see where you will face problems till our coming class. Okay, so we will stop here for now. And if you have any questions, you may ask. If you want to quit, you can quit.
Miss, can you send